Hello and welcome to MTV, where this week I've selected the word aware. Aware means having knowledge or conscious. You're consciously aware of what is going on around you. And I have three words that I want us to consider that we need to be aware of. First, ourselves. We need to be aware of our physical needs. Are we getting the rest that we need? The food that we need, and not just any food, but food that's good for our bodies. Are we getting the rest that we need? I know I've said this before, that is something that I have to work diligently on to make sure that I am properly allowing my body to rest. Am I getting the exercise that I need? That's an important aspect of our physical well-being. Not only does it help to release endorphins, it helps to reduce stress. It's good for our heart. There are so many wonderful benefits of physically exercising our bodies. Also being aware of ourselves, we need to be aware of our emotional needs. Are those emotional needs being met? Emotional needs typically can be met through relationship. And then we've got horizontal relationship, and then we have vertical relationship with God. But are those emotional needs being met? Oftentimes, if we're not careful, we will get on our computer and we'll look at any number of social media websites, and we think our emotional need is being met by reading the status updates of people that we know, yet we're not interacting with them, whether it be face-to-face or over the phone, some kind of direct connection with them. We're more of an onlooker than we are a participant. And what they're finding as they do a lot of research is that many women specifically are struggling with depression as a result of being an onlooker versus directly engaging. And we are emotional beings. Women are emotional beings. We're also expressive responsive. We need to be speaking and talking out what we're thinking so that we can work through what's going on in our minds. So, and being aware of ourselves, our emotional need is important. And finally, being aware of ourselves, our spiritual need is important. We are made to have a void filled by God. Are we spending time with Him? Are we learning about Him? How He meets our need, how He desires to provide for us, to be our all in all. So making sure that we're taking the time to grow spiritually. I know for me that includes spending time in the Bible daily, as well as engaging in a women's Bible study, church on Sunday morning. Find ways that you can make sure that you are meeting that spiritual need that you have. The second O is we need to be aware of others. It's so important that as we go through our day, that we're thinking about what's going on around us. So being aware of our family. If you're married, your spouse, are his or her needs being met? Your children, are their needs being met? Or do they need encouragement, a hug, or that touch, that helps to communicate the love that you have for them. Sometimes being aware of others is simply knowing that we need to say, great job, you tried hard, I love you, I believe in you. Really verbalizing the things that oftentimes we are thinking, but we don't always allow it to come out of our mouths. What about being aware of the others in our friend category? When's the last time that you picked up the phone and you called a friend and you said, I was thinking about you today, and I wanted to call and let you know that and tell you how much I appreciate you and that I hope you have a great day. Something as simple as that. Or maybe take out a note card and say, God brought you to mind today, and I want you to know I'm praying that you, and then fill in the blank. What a blessing that would be for them to receive that note of encouragement. A friend feeling your love by the action that you take. See, oftentimes we have good intent, but we're not following through by actually acting on those good intentions that we have. The other people, I guess, group that I want to talk about would be those people that you interact with day to day and just living your life. For example, you go into the grocery store. Who is the checkout clerk who is scanning your groceries and taking your money? Do you take time to make eye contact with them? Are you aware of whether or not they're smiling or they seem hurried? Do you ask them, how is your day? Thank you so much. Are you courteous? Are you kind? Do you say, please excuse me when you're walking in a crowded hallway or you're trying to move around someone? How are you aware of the others that God has placed in your life? Because you never know how you might be used to impact that life. I recently had gone to a restaurant to meet a couple of ladies when I had a woman from Iran approach me asking directions for a clinic that she was trying to find. She's not from this country. She hasn't been here that long. But in that moment, on that day, I had an opportunity to help someone who needed that help. Are you aware of others? How can you be more aware of others? I know for me, because I can be so agenda driven. I've got my list. I'm trying to check it off. I feel good when I check things off. One of the biggest things that I have to do to be better aware of others is to slow down, to not be so pressed for time that I cannot take a moment's notice of the people that God has placed in my path. That is so, for me, that is critically important, and that might be something that resonates with you as well. So we want to be aware of ourselves. We also want to be aware of others. And finally, we need to be aware of the opportunities that are around us. You know, God provides opportunities daily. I believe there are opportunities to encourage. That could be the smile that you give. It could be the kind word that you share. That could be the pat on the back, the great job, the believe in you. That could be the text message that you send saying, I thought of you. I hope you're having a great day. That could be the phone call you make. So many ways that you can encourage other people. You can also have opportunities to share. You know, you can have opportunities to share your resources. That could include your time. It could indeed include your money. But you also have opportunities to share through your business. I know as a Premier Designs jeweler, I have opportunity to share the jewelry. I have the ability to offer the opportunity for women to earn additional income that maybe makes a difference for them and their family. What is it that you have to share? Yes, you might be in Premier with me and we have those things in common, but you might also be working a 40+ hour a week job. How can you share with the people with whom you work day after day after day? We also have opportunities to grow. What book are you reading right now? What are you doing to grow yourself and to give you the ability to pour out to others? You see, you're able to teach out of what you are learning. So I want to encourage you, always have a good book that you're working on. Even if you only read 2 or 3 pages a day, do you realize that you could accomplish reading an entire book at least in a year, if not sooner? I so encourage you, take the time to be growing yourself personally. Finally, look for opportunities to serve. How can you give expecting nothing in return? Whether it be making a meal for someone where they would be blessed by that, or maybe, I know here, we oftentimes will go and pull our neighbors' trash receptacles in. We have these big cans and they roll out to the street. And so oftentimes we'll serve our neighbors by pulling those up for them so that they're not left out on the street. Or Fred might choose to edge all the way over the neighbor's yard as well as a way to serve, not expecting anything, but just as a kind gesture. So look for those opportunities that God has given you to serve. They make such a big difference in the lives of those that God brings into your path. To bring all of this together, being aware of ourselves, aware of others, and aware of opportunities, I want to share Premier's verse for this year, Philippians 2:3-4, which says, "Let nothing be done in selfish ambition, but in humility of mind, esteem others better than yourself." Looking out not only for your own interest, but also the interest of others. Here's how I think of that verse. Do nothing out of selfish ambition. While I am aware of myself, I am not self-consumed. I am not me-centered. I'm taking care of my needs, yes. I'm always making sure that I'm looking outward. I'm considering others. And then in considering others, I'm looking out not only for my own interests, the opportunities that are important for me, but I'm also looking out for the interest of others, the opportunities that are going to be important for those people that God brings into my path. So this week, I want to challenge you, be more aware and find ways that you are able to encourage those people that God brings into your path. And I will see you back here next week for MTV.